So on behalf of myself and Mimi, who's also on the Zoom, we'd like to welcome everyone to Activate 2020, SF Hillel's virtual gala, our first. Just a quick overview on Zoom instructions. So right now everyone is on mute. If you'd like to communicate, send a mazel tov, etc. You can also go like this, which is clapping and sign language, just like that. Please use, and you can also use the chat. My name is Laura Beth David, and I'm one of the co-chairs of Activate 2020 Gala. I was a student at San Francisco Hillel from 2007 to 2011. Hillel means a lot to my college experience. I was one of the co-founding members of the sorority Lambda Chi Mu, which we started in the SF Hillel house in the basement. I went on Birthright in 2008. Went on alternative spring break to rebuild a house after Hurricane Katrina hit. And also I was a peer network intern, PNEI, which to help engage the uninvolved students with Jewish life and create meaningful community so I definitely know the impact that Hillel is giving for the students. I saw so many friends find their first Jewish community and have their lives changed. SF Hillel continues to ensure no Jewish student feels alone, especially now with what's going on. And SF Hillel definitely can't do this important work alone. SF Hillel relies on our community, which I see here today, all your smiling faces, your generosity to provide Jewish connections and education, even when we're all despaired. Attending this virtual program today is a way that we bring this community together, even if we're not physically in the same room. So we're so excited that you're here. Now, without further ado, I'd like to pass the virtual microphone to Rick, who's our board chair. And here's Rick.
Ta-da. Thank you, Laura. Okay, can you see me? Hello?
You're all set to go, Rick.
Can you see me? Okay, thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rick Leonard, and I'm proud to be the board chair of San Francisco Hillel. Thank you all so much for attending today. It's incredible to see the care and support our community, and I'm heartened that in these difficult times, we're still able to come together to celebrate Carol and Jewish life on campuses across San Francisco. We've all been activated to support SF Hillel, and we want to take this moment to offer special thanks and recognition to the following people. First, our event co-chairs, Laura Beth David Goss, our former honorees, including Mimi, Diane Marcus, Paul Cohen, and Deborah Lopez, our honorary committee, and Danny Grossman and Jim Hager and the many other distinguished leaders from the San Francisco Federation, our current and former board members and leadership circle members of San Francisco Hillel. Also the many students and alumni of San Francisco Hillel, a few of them who are with us today, and our outstanding Hillel professionals whose work tirelessly every day, especially during this pandemic, for our students. A special thank you to Sophie Case for her excellent work in coordinating this wonderful event. Now I'd like to share with you a little bit about where SF Hillel is at the moment. Our entire world has shifted in the past few weeks, but even before then, SF Hillel was persevering through big transitions and unexpected changes. Amidst all the turbulence this year, there are several exciting updates to share. In the past 5 years, SF Hillel has expanded to meaningfully serve students across San Francisco, launching chapters at USF and UCSF from scratch, and invigorating the Jewish community at UC Hastings. This year, for the first time in over a decade, SF Hillel has a full-time professional serving our graduate students with great results, and we're seeing increased engagement of Jewish students at every school we serve. SF Hillel is proud to be delivering its mission in enriching the lives of Jewish students across San Francisco so that they may in turn enrich the Jewish people and the world. In November, our previous executive director, Ali Ben, transitioned to a new role as the Director of Social Impact for the San Diego Jewish Community Foundation. His tenure at Hillel marked a renaissance of growth, with SF Hillel becoming a nationally awarded and recognized organization. We're really so grateful to Ali, who is with us today from San Diego. Hi, Al. How you doing, kiddo? For his leadership and accomplishments with SF Hillel. Last year at this very gathering, we shared our plans to move our house at 33 Banbury Drive to an on-campus space at SF State. We were so thankful for the advice and support we received from the community in pursuit of that dream. Unfortunately, at the close of 2019, we were disappointed to learn that the developers changed their mind and instead they're moving forward with a commercial tenant in our space. Well, we've regrouped and are diligently pursuing our alternative options. We'll have more on that later this year. One of the big reasons that the new space at SF State was to better integrate Jewish students and overcome the ongoing challenges of Jewish students feeling excluded. This year, SF State named a new president, Dr. Lynn Mahoney, and in just a few short months, she's taken big steps to connect with and listen to Jewish and pro-Israel students, which is really very important to us. Now, in just a few minutes, you'll hear students are succeeding in engaging campus leadership in Israel. And now I have the honor and privilege to announce that Rachel Nielsen Ralston has been appointed our permanent executive director. Okay. Rachel graduated from San Francisco State University and began Jewish communal work at SF Hillel. Over the years, she has shown the kind of leadership that led up to her appointment as our executive director. In 2016, Rachel was the recipient of Hillel International's highest honor, the Exemplar of Excellence Award. She has been a recognized leader across the Hillel movement for her diversity and inclusion work, Israel education, and leadership development. Last November, Rachel was appointed as our interim ED. She took over the role with enthusiasm and passion. Rachel had to navigate changes with our disrupted capital campaign while building a strong relationship with the new SF State president and our other major funders. She also developed with her team new digital programs to connect with our students during this unprecedented time. We are very fortunate at SF Hillel to have such a strong, able, and compassionate leader at the helm of our organization. To Rachel, we'd like to say thank you for accepting this position and look forward to working with you on behalf of the Jewish students in San Francisco. Rachel, the floor is now yours.
Wow. Thank you, Rick. That means
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone.
And if I was there, I'd be giving you a big hug.
Giving one right back to you virtually.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Nielsen Ralston, and I'm so honored to be San Francisco Hillel's new executive director. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces today and a few new ones. I'm really looking forward to getting to know and work with each and every one of you. I'm humbled by Rick's words and that our board of directors has selected me as SF Hillel's next leader. I'm thrilled to continue working with our inspiring students and talented professionals. I'm proud to have played a role in SF Hillel's growth over the past 9 years, and I'm fully committed to navigating us through these uncertain times. Truthfully, as I was preparing for today, I was thinking that all of my previous experience with SF Hillel prepared me well to step up to face a challenge. I first got involved with Hillel as a student intern. I was engaged with Israel advocacy at SF State, which most of you know is not for the faint-hearted. And years later, I was the Hillel professional in the room in 2016 during the shoutdown of Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat, which many of you heard about. So my friends and colleagues know that they can count on me to lead our students through difficult times and stand tall in the face of adversity. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. The reason I choose to work for Hillel is because I believe that we are the most future-focused Jewish organization. And I know from my personal story and from the students I get to work with every day that we're changing lives. I'm excited to share more about SF Hillel's incredible impact with you today. Let's begin by zooming out a little and take a look at what we do. Okay, I don't think we can see the screen yet.
Oh. One moment.
Adjusting to new technological realities. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sophie. So what does this look like locally in our backyard? Here in San Francisco, we have one Hillel with 6 professionals that serve over 1,000 Jewish students, providing dedicated support on 4 campuses. It's pretty incredible. Today's event is called Activate because that is at the core of what we do. Every day, we find creative ways to activate students to find belonging and community, to grow as leaders, discover Jewish knowledge and values for themselves, and advocate for Israel. We're thrilled now to introduce you to 4 of our phenomenal students, Reina Benzaken from the University of San Francisco, Amy Ming Yen Levine from UC Hastings, Nathan Corey from UCSF, and Madison Clegg from San Francisco State University. They'll briefly share their Hillel stories so you can hear for yourself how we're making a difference on our campuses. And Reina, the microphone is yours.
Hello, I'm Reina Benzaken. It's a pleasure to be here today with you all. Thank you for having me. So growing up in Hawaii, my family wasn't connected to a large Jewish community. Occasionally, we went to an Orthodox synagogue to celebrate life cycle milestones or holidays, But truthfully, as a secular Jewish Israeli family, it wasn't where we felt fully comfortable. I was the only Jewish kid in my class, so aside from my brothers and my sister, I didn't really have a group of people my age who I related to. It might sound funny to say, but it wasn't until I attended a Jesuit university that I learned what it's like to have Jewish friends and feel connected to my Judaism. When I moved to San Francisco as a freshman, I learned that SF Hillel had a community at USF. I was curious, so I attended my first Shabbat on campus. I was pleasantly surprised to walk into the university ministry and meet Naomi, a professional with SF Hillel, and 40 other students. We lit candles, we blessed the wine and the challah, sang songs, and we ate a warm meal together. I immediately connected with the other students, and pretty soon I had a group of Jewish friends on campus. Having SF Hillel at USF changed my entire college experience and deepened my Jewish pride. Because Hillel is a pluralistic Jewish community, everyone I met came from a different Jewish background. Every Shabbat, I learned new Jewish practices, and everyone's unique identity was celebrated. The Hillel staff taught us new Jewish ideas, how to build a welcoming environment, and how to put together Jewish experiences for a diverse group of friends. I saw that there were so many different ways to be Jewish, and I learned that I could help plan and host events for my Jewish friends. I felt represented on my campus, even though there was a cathedral right next to the quad. This year, I joined the student board of SF Hillel at USF and became a peer connector. It's been so fun to meet new Jewish students on campus and help them find belonging in our small but mighty Hillel community. I hear from them all the time that they really appreciate having a space to explore and be with Jewish friends. And SF Hillel activated my sense of belonging by giving me a Jewish community in college and the freedom to figure out what Judaism means to me. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Mignon Levine. 2 years ago, I moved to San Francisco and started law school at UC Hastings College of Law and began the most stressful time of my life. When I saw that the Hastings Jewish Law Student Association, also known as HJALSA, at the involvement fair, I actually recognized a familiar face from my time as an undergrad. Jeremy and I both went to UC Davis, and he welcomed me into the Jewish campus community here at Hastings. I started regularly going to HJALSA events like Jews and Brews and attended holiday gatherings like Purim and Passover Seder. I met and connected with older students and alumni who shared in my identity and who could offer advice. The Hillel staff facilitated these relationships and events and then took me out for coffee when I was a little too stressed. Always ready with a listening ear. This Jewish community provided an essential anchor during my first year at Hastings and was crucial to my success. So I didn't hesitate when I was approached to become part of HJALSA's leadership. I saw how SF Hillel worked with our student board to provide leadership training, mentorship, and the necessary program resources that empowered student leaders to own the direction of our group. I became the vice president, where I was in charge of outreach and networking, and SF Hillel really activated me as a Jewish leader, teaching me how to effectively welcome new students and to build a community. I loved reaching out to first years and providing connection points for them, knowing how much HJALSA and Hillel helped me get through my first year. Jewish student leadership does more than provide a community that helps students succeed academically and prepare for careers. It also inspires us to step up as leaders to respond when our community needs us. Last year, after the anti-Semitic attack at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, we hosted a vigil at Hastings. In a time of fear and sorrow, I was proud to lead my campus Jewish community in prayer and healing. The Jewish values of tikkun olam, repairing the world, and tzedek, justice, are two central values that both Judaism and the law and my leadership experiences at SF Hillel only reinforce that. These values will continue to be my driving forces in my life, wherever I go.
Nate, are you with
Oh,
us?
hi. Sorry, yeah, I'm here. I
You're
don't know why
fine.
I was waiting to be introduced.
Fine.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm a current UCSF student, and thank you for being here today and listening to all of us. So where I grew up in Los Angeles, I was surrounded by Persian Jewish everything. My family, the food I ate, music, holidays, everything was Persian. Everything was Jewish. And even though I had this very strong Jewish background, as a young adult, I became disconnected from my Jewish identity. You see, I felt unwelcome as a gay man. And the lack of support from my family and community made me feel like I couldn't be myself in Jewish spaces. I focused my energy on school and my career instead, and was proud to be accepted to UCSF's prestigious School of Pharmacy. Shortly after arriving at UCSF, I went to the club fair. I was surprised to see that among the hundreds of Jewish options, or 100 of club options for students, there was an empty table with the sign Jewish Life taped to it. No one was behind it, and I felt a small pang of sadness and invisibility. And even though I struggled with feeling accepted, I wanted there to be something Jewish offered at school. And I still don't know what really made me do it, but I decided to stand behind the table and man it myself. Soon, a guy named Alex Merriman, who's here today, walked up. We became friends, and Alex told me that he was working with SF Hillel to launch a Hillel chapter at UCSF. Alex connected me with Naomi, one of SF Hillel's professionals. And when we first met, Naomi and I quickly realized that we're both really big fans of the singer Beyonce. Naomi showed me how Beyonce's lyrics could relate to Jewish values, specifically Passover, and I joked that we should host a Beyonce Seder for Passover. Instead of laughing, Naomi said, "Let's do it." And I was honestly so surprised she was willing to do something so out there that I jumped at the opportunity. We met and put together a Haggadah of Beyonce lyrics, and Naomi literally took care of everything else, like all the Seder logistics, all of it. And on the night of the event, it was really mine to own and lead. It felt amazing to have this wild idea come to life. And I was so thankful to Naomi and the entire SF Hillel team who helped me follow through with it. For the first time in a long time, I connected with my Judaism without having to hide any part of myself. I felt so lucky that everyone at SF Hillel has been so kind, welcoming, and genuine in their desire to help foster a strong connection between students and their Jewish identity. I've always felt heard and respected, and I know that my experience at UCSF and in San Francisco as a whole would not have been the same without this community. SF Hillel's values of inclusion and innovation activated my Jewish renewal. I now have Shabbat dinner every Friday with friends I made here, and feeling reconnected with my Jewish identity has helped me bridge relationships with my family, who have grown in their acceptance. I'm so thankful for Hillel and everything the organization has opened up for me.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison Clegg, and here's my SF Hillel story. When I transferred to SF State, I was a little lost. I came here without any idea about the intense campus climate. When I arrived, I was lonely in a place where it was hard to be Jewish. And then I went to Hillel, where I met Emily, one of SF Hillel's staff. She encouraged me to join their birthright trip, so I signed up thinking it would be a cool vacation and I'd get to make some new friends. What I didn't know was that it would completely transform my life. On Birthright, I fell in love with Israel's resilient people and the beauty of the land. I felt a sense of belonging and comfort that had been missing from my life. Going on Birthright with SFLL activated my unconditional love for Israel and gave me the Jewish community I hadn't realized I was longing for on campus. When I landed back in San Francisco, I wanted to get more involved and find a way back to Israel as soon as possible. It felt like I now had new eyes. I felt upset that not everyone understood that the conversation about Israel is not so simple. I wanted other students to have the chance to see Israel for themselves and be able to build their own opinions. So I worked with Hillel to design our Perspectives tour. Perspectives Tour is SF Hillel's trip to Israel and the West Bank for non-Jewish campus student leaders. The trip exposes students to a variety of narratives and sites, providing a once-in-a-lifetime educational experience. I work to recruit leaders from student government and other influential student organizations that aren't as likely to have positive views of Israel. In January of 2020, I was one of 5 Jewish student ambassadors serving as a peer educator and advocate alongside leaders from the Muslim Student Association, the Black Student Union, and the Eritrean and Ethiopian Student Association. It was transformative for all of us, leaving the participants with positive connections to Israel and SF Hillel. This coalition building work is essential at SF State because it helps fight anti-Israel and anti-Semitic activity on campus and also integrates Hillel and us Jewish students. Through this trip and follow-through work, we build connections and allyship with other communities. Recently, our group had dinner with SF State's new president, and we spoke about the need for a supportive administration when it comes to building bridges in our communities. Without SF Hillel, these changes wouldn't be happening on campus, and I wouldn't have learned that I am an effective Israel advocate. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
Now, Rachel, am I on? Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Danny Grossman, CEO of the Jewish Community Federation and Foundation. Unless there's more things you need to say, Rachel.
There's just one quick thing I wanted to
Absolutely.
say. Thank you to the students for sharing. Your stories are so inspiring, and they make all of us feel really excited about the Jewish future. Rick, back to you.
Okay, well, let me reintroduce Danny again. For the second time, here comes Danny, CEO of the Jewish Community Federation and Foundation. Danny, take it away.
Thanks so much, Rick. It's great to see all of you on this call and to be able to celebrate San Francisco Hillel, which is such an important institution in our community. It's my great privilege to be able to share some thoughts about Carol Weitz with you, whom I'm just crazy fond of and have deep respect for. So let me just say that, you know, this moment in time is the moment in time when we need to cherish the people and summon the people who built this community. And Carol is one of those people. We all know we're in for some rebuilding when we're through with this pandemic. And so it seems so appropriate that we're honoring her today. She cares about Jewish life writ large, not just San Francisco Hillel, not just the San Francisco Federation. She cares about the thriving of Jewish life, which is why she is involved in so many different boards and causes around our community. She's a philanthropic role model. She's one of those people who doesn't give just enough. She gives as much as she can. She's a tireless ambassador. I think you probably all know that. She's always sharing with others her excitement and enthusiasm for the causes that she cares about. She's not self-important. You know, Carol's biggest concern about today was not that something would happen to her moment to be honored, but of course that San Francisco Hillel in some way would be obscured. But we're seeing through the miracle of Zoom that is not happening. And of course, importantly to the work at hand, and for this honor specifically, Carol cares really deeply about the next generation of leadership. I could watch, I couldn't because the screen was filled, but I'm pretty sure she was beaming broadly when the 4 students presented on their experiences, because that's really exactly why we do this work. And maybe most important about Carol is she brings a great sense of humor to the work. She's always a pleasure to be around the table with. She can appreciate a good joke, and she can certainly crack one well on her own. So this is, I think, where we'd all be standing up, cheering loudly and applauding. I think, Rick, you can tell me, but I give my honor and respect to Carol Weitz and this appropriate honor from San Francisco Hillel.
Thank you, Danny. Let's raise a glass, all of you in front of the screen. And if you don't have a glass, you know, use pantomime. That's good, Danny. And let's make a toast to our wonderful honoree, Carol Weitz. To you, Carol, thank you for everything.
Cheers, Carol.
And now we'd like to move to our Paul Cohen Award for Student Leadership.
Oh,
But
wait,
before we get there,
Rick, we're going to hear from Carol first.
oh, okay, good.
Woman of the Hour, or
Okay.
Woman of Valor, Carol Weitz.
All right. Thank you, Danny, so much for those touching words. You're a pleasure to work with always throughout everything that you do at Federation. It's amazing. And congratulations to Alex, since I feel a strong part of the medical community. The engagement opportunities through Hillel that you fostered are so important in grounding frazzled medical students. SF Hillel. I didn't know it existed when I attended San Francisco State for a couple of years when I first came to San Francisco in 1963. I had never gone to Jewish summer camps or any other Jewish programs since I became Jewish in my mid-40s. You see, I'm Jewish by choice. Thanks to my wonderful husband, Ernie Weitz of blessed memory, his loving parents and family, and our engaging synagogue community at Beth Shalom, I discovered that the spiritual and practical life that is Judaism was right for me. It does represent who I am. Since then, I've been blessed to have so many wonderful mentors along this Jewish journey. Many who are not with us any longer, but whose guidance I still feel every day. Like Ann Bear, blessed memory, who counseled me by saying, Carol, just say yes. And my sweet Arthur Zimmerman, also blessed memory, who introduced me to every other Jewish organization in the city. He taught me the value of being engaged with our broader community, philanthropy, and the meaningfulness that participation can give to one's life. When Mimi invited me to a parlor meeting to learn more about SF Hillel, I was so drawn to that program. Joined the SF Hillel Advisory Committee and then the board. As you may have read in the program notes, I was so impressed by the role Hillels play in the lives of students in colleges all around the country and the globe. When some of my grandchildren would say they were observing this or that holiday at their Hillel, or when I visited their campuses for Grandparents' Day, and they would point out their Hillel house proudly. That memory furthered my desire to play a supporting role in San Francisco's Hillel. I'm so fortunate now to be a part of this wonderful program, the forward-thinking board, and the bright leadership now under the guidance of our new executive director, Rachel. I love baking cakes for the board meetings, and I'm excited to be a part of the growth of our 4 campuses with even stronger social engagement of the students, Jewish and non-Jewish, who help them each feel they have a place to come together physically or like now, virtually. I feel like we all want to say next year in Jerusalem or on campus, when we can hold hands and sing and dance together. Your support by participating today and to the others who could not join in but donated is so appreciated in helping activate a vibrant opportunity for Jewish engagement on our campuses. Thank you so very much for this really terrific honor.
Carol, your family wanted to make sure you had a moment to read this. No one deserves recognition more than you. You give so much to friends, community, and our world, but especially to our family. They're the only ones who get to call you mom and grandma. We're so glad that so many of them are here with us today to celebrate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you, Carol. We look forward to working with you for many, many years to come. You're just absolutely wonderful. And I'm on a personal note, I'm so glad that you and I were in Israel together and I got to get to know you better. And that's always a wonderful opportunity. So now let's move on to our second honoree, and that's for the Paul J. Cohen Award for Student Leadership. To present this award, I'm going to ask Sasha Presley to come up to the stage, so to speak. Sasha was last year's recipient of the Paul Cohen Award as a graduating senior at SF State. We're lucky that she is continuing her Hillel relationship as our student experience architect, working with our Jewish graduate students. Let's welcome Sasha Presley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sasha Presley, and I'm a student experience architect at San Francisco Hillel. I was hired this year through Hillel International's Springboard Fellowship as an innovation specialist. I love getting to scale our work with graduate students at UCSF and UC Hastings. But I was connected with SF Hillel prior to becoming one of our professionals. Last year, as Rick said, I was a senior at SF State and was awarded the Paul J. Cohen Award for Student Leadership for my student advocacy. Today, I'm honored to present this award to another inspirational SF Hillel student leader. The Paul J. Cohen Award and Student Leadership Fund were created to honor Paul's decades of impact at SF Hillel. As a Hillel professional and as a longtime supporter, Paul's passion for inclusive and dynamic Jewish life has driven and inspired our Hillel. We're honored to carry forward his legacy by recognizing students whose outstanding service moves San Francisco Hillel forward. Alex Merriman is a natural leader. As you heard from Nate's story, when Alex saw that there wasn't a Jewish community on UCSF's campus, he contacted SF Hillel. And he didn't stop there. He has continued to grow the UCSF Hillel community, finding new leaders and members, and helping Hillel deliver programs and resources that UCSF students want and need. We're amazed that in just 2.5 years of serving UCSF, we've meaningfully served 234 Jewish students at UCSF. We wouldn't have been able to do that without Alex's initiative. We are excited to see the campus community at UCSF continue to grow. In these times, we are more conscious than ever of the bravery of our healthcare professionals. Our UCSF students are now on the front lines of this pandemic. And we've seen that SF Hillel is supporting these students by providing them with a nurturing Jewish community. Thank you, Alex, for making that community possible. On behalf of SF Hillel, I am honored to present the Paul J. Cohen Award for Student Leadership to Alexander Merriman. This includes a scholarship to be used for continued professional development. Mazel tov, Alex.
And now we'll get to hear from Alex.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for your kind words, Sasha. I really appreciate that. And mazel tov to you as well, Carol. Thank you for all the work you've done for the Jewish community. It's an honor to be able to serve with you on the board. And thank you to everyone at SF Hillel for selecting me to receive this award. It really means a great deal. Thank you to everyone joining us on Zoom today during such challenging times. Now more than ever, it is important to foster community. And this Zoom call is just another example of the Jewish community's capacity to come together in difficult times. As you may have just heard, in the little excerpt in the guide, it wasn't actually said, but I actually was late to the game coming into my Jewish identity. I come from a mixed faith household. My parents are both on the call with us today. And through Duke Hillel, I had the incredible opportunity to develop my Jewish identity, becoming a bar mitzvah as a senior in college. Needless to say, Hillel has played a huge role in my experience with Jewish life and as a part of my college experience. I arrived in San Francisco only, I guess, half a year after my bar mitzvah, eager to continue engaging with the Jewish community, and was pretty surprised to hear that UCSF did not have a formal Jewish community group on campus, some form of venue where we could gather, socialize, celebrate holidays, have Shabbat dinners, and really discuss how our Jewish values intersect with our career as future healthcare providers. As luck would have it, one night I saw some Facebook event, a grad student social hour happening at the local NOPA Moishe House. And I ran into Naomi Zapersky, who's also on this call. She was at the time a brand new student experience architect, and I was a brand new student, and the fit was there. We got along really well, and we both had a mutual goal, which was to establish a Jewish community on campus at UCSF, and that's exactly what we did. So first and foremost, I want to mention my immense thanks to Naomi for helping me get SF Hillel at UCSF off the ground and helping me and kind of keeping me grounded as we navigated the crazy process of university hierarchy and getting funding and space and all the other logistics to make our events happen. It's shocking to hear the statistic that we've reached that many students, and I'm really happy that we've been able to do that. Thank you to Rachel and Ollie for your tremendous mentorship and generosity, providing me opportunities to develop as a leader, currently as a member of the board of directors at SF Hillel. Receiving this leadership award named after Paul Cohen is really an honor. Before this pandemic occurred, I had the opportunity to have lunch with Paul and learn about all the incredible contributions he's made to SF Hillel and the local Jewish community over the past years. And I really hope that I can continue to develop as a leader and have a lasting impact on my community in the years to come. I also hope I can do, because that was a phenomenal lunch. And lastly, I'd really like to thank my family for their love and support throughout this entire journey. Thank you for joining this call. I hope everyone continues to stay safe and healthy, and that you have a wonderful socially distanced Passover in the next week. Thank you so much.
Wow. Carol and Alex, Mazel Tov, you are the epitome of a woman of valor and a true mensch. And we're so lucky that you're part of SF Hillel. We have plaques to commemorate your recognition today that I regret are at our office, but I look forward to being able to give them to you hopefully soon with a hug. We're grateful that all of us could gather today to celebrate you both, and you inspire all of us to follow in your example. San Francisco Hillel is a community-supported Hillel, and we want to activate each of you to join us as supporters, advocates, lay leaders for our students. Today you heard about what SF Hillel normally does, but as we all know, these are not normal times. Over the past month, we've adapted in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic to continue serving our students. Our building had to temporarily close its doors 3 weeks ago, but we haven't stopped providing Hillel community or activities. Most of our students are sheltering in place in SF. You saw them today here speaking to us from their apartments. Many more were displaced from campus housing when that closed and had to move home or find alternative housing arrangements. So in response, we turned Hillel into a virtual experience. If you go to our website, sfhillel.org, you'll see that we're helping students connect to regular programs that happen all the time, now on Zoom, and some new experiences. We're doing Shabbat services and Passover Seders all online. In just the past week, we've engaged with thousands of students on Facebook and Instagram and hosted hundreds of Zoom calls. But I think what's most important and what's clear in our students' stories, programming isn't what matters right now. Ensuring our students' needs are met is paramount. For most of our students, we're their only Jewish community, and our staff is reaching out to each student personally to offer connection and pastoral care during this isolation. We're sharing critical financial and mental health resources in an era of unprecedented insecurity and fear. We're working harder than ever. Hillel is a 97-year-old organization, and we've been actually serving students in San Francisco since the 1940s. This isn't the first time, and it won't be the last time that we have to change the way we're building Jewish campus community. And what's become clear in recent weeks is that San Francisco Hillel is much more than a physical place. We've heard from our students that they need us and this community more than ever. So that's why I'm asking you today to double down on your support for Hillel today and in the coming months. You've already given generously in honor of Carol and Alex and our work, and we're so grateful. Thank you. If our students and honorees' words moved your heart, we ask that you continue that support to help us continue our impactful work. We need you to ensure that the hundreds of other Jewish students in San Francisco are activated and have a strong Hillel today and in the future. You can make a gift right now by clicking on a link that will appear in the chat box. And you can always mail a check to Hillel's address or give anytime online. And there's more ways to get involved. Please reach out to connect with me to learn how you can become a leader in our Hillel. Someday soon, God willing, this pandemic will end, and that day our doors will open again, and our students will gather once more on a Friday night to pack our building with their arms linked around each other, and we'll bless the hall at Shabbat. And your generosity and care carries us to that moment and far beyond. Thank you all for your support and being here today. So yes, I first met Carol actually 10 years ago at a small event that she described at Mimi Goss's home. And that day I was the student of Hillel sharing my story. And Carol, you are just as caring, kind, and passionate now as you were then. And you care still just as much about ensuring students have a place to be. So it's my pleasure to hand over the reins to Mimi Goss, our co-chair for Activate 2020, to wrap us up today. Mimi, thank you for your continued support of SF Hillel and connecting us to Carol Weitz.
Thank you, Rachel. I've been delighted to be able to co-chair this wonderful event with Laura Beth, honoring my dear friend, Carol Weitz, and the amazing student leader, Alexander Merriman. Our thanks to each one of you who's here and those of you who've contributed who weren't here today with us for your support. And I'm happy to be able to express our appreciation to our sponsors, Kathy Dobbs Goldstein and Phil Goldstein, Jim Hager and Daryl Messenger, Barbara and Ron Kaufman, Quentin Kopp, David Levine, Deborah Lopez, Jay, the Jewish News of Northern California, the Jewish Community Federation and Endowment Fund, Rick and Allie Lennett, Joe Pedot, my dear friend, Jan Riker, Jim and Emily Scheinman, Gary and Dana Shapiro, Sandy Statler, Phil and Cindy Strauss, Martin Tannenbaum and Alice Ingersoll, Carol Weitz herself, and Judy and Steve Zimmerman. If you have friends you think would enjoy seeing this and hearing from our students, or have friends who are admirers of Carol, or friends who know people who are admirers of and lovers of Carol, the program has been saved and they can find it on the San Francisco Hillel website. I think it'll be sent out to you too. I've been committed to Hillel ever since my son, who'd been a Jewish student leader in Hillel, told me, this is our last and best chance to ensure that our children and our grandchildren become and stay involved in Jewish life. Today, he's a Hillel director, and our Hillel, as you can see from our students and our terrific, I wouldn't say new director, Rachel Story, has tremendous impact on our kids. We are activated, greatly expanding our presence for students throughout the city. We've been on a roll and our students don't want us to slow down. They want us to keep expanding our ability to provide them with a home in which they find Jewish community, and in many cases, for the first time, their own personal Jewish identity and a wonderful relationship with Israel. With a bare bones staff, we need your help to make this happen, particularly in these difficult times. And before you leave, when I was honored by San Francisco Hillel, Carol made a really beautiful handmade tribute book with letters and notes for me. We'll be doing the same for her. So please take a few minutes this afternoon to pen some words for Carol on a piece of stationery or in an email and send them to San Francisco Hillel, and we'll put them together so that Carol too can have a very special memento of today. And again, thank you all for supporting Hillel and being here for our honorees, and take good care of yourselves. Bye.
And with that, we wrap up our Activate 2020 virtual gathering. Thank you so, so much for being here. And I just saw in the chat box, thanks Michael Rabkin for Hillel International's support of this. We're just so grateful to gather everyone together. Carol, Alex, we hope you feel all the pride, nachas, and appreciation from all of us. We love you both so much. Stay well, everyone.